evening. For tonight's video, we will talk about HTTP with PHP Vulnerability, CVE 2012-1823, colon, PHP CGI. My name is Vincent. So for this type of presentation, we will use Kali Linux VM as the attacker, while the victim machine would be using Metasploitable running Ubuntu Linux. As we can see, they are residing on the same IP address range. The attacker uses 10.0.2.15/24 IP, while the victim uses 10.0.2.4/24 IP. So here's the Kali Linux VM. This is the IP address, while the victim machine is this one. So let's discuss the theory part before we go to the lab demonstration. So HTTP, it stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is the foundation of data communication on the World Wide Web. It is an application layer protocol used for transmitting hypermedia documents, such as HTML files, and facilitating communication between web browsers and web servers. HTTP defines the rules and conventions for how messages are formatted and transmitted over the internet. HTTP is also the predecessor of the modern-day HTTPS. On the other hand, PHP stands for Hypertext Preprocessor. It is a server-side scripting language widely used in web development. PHP is embedded within HTML code and executed on the server, generating dynamic content that is then sent to the client's web browser. It is a versatile and popular language for building dynamic websites and web applications. As we can see, HTTP and PHP work hand in hand in order to provide a successful web application transaction. So what is this CVE 2012-1823 PHP CGI? This bug can be used by attackers to retrieve arbitrary code and gain code execution on a server. For this lab exercise, we will use Metasploit and then use two main components of Metasploit, such as HTTP dir scanner and PHP CGI argument injection. Metasploit is a penetration testing framework that provides tools for developing, testing, and executing exploit code against a remote target. Originally developed by H.D. Moore in 2003, Metasploit has become one of the most widely used and comprehensive tools for penetration testing, vulnerability assessment, and offensive security research. It is an open source project that is maintained and developed by Rapid7. We can use Metasploit to attack Linux and Windows OS-based machines. What is HTTP dir scanner? dir scanner module scans one or more web servers for interesting directories that can be further explored. So we will use this mechanism or feature later on during our lab demonstration. And this is also an essential part of our probing and surveillance item. What is PHP CGI argument injection? This indicates an attack attempt against an argument injection vulnerability in PHP CGI. The vulnerability is caused by an error when the vulnerable software handles a malicious request. It allows a remote attacker to execute arbitrary code via a crafted UIR. So we go to the lab demonstration part. First of all, we need to confirm that there's a connectivity between the attacker and the victim machines. So let's try to type or ping the destination IP, which is 10.0.2.4. Okay, it's responding. And then let's open Mozilla Firefox. Let's check if there is web reachability 10.0.2.4. Okay, it's there. Next, we do an nmap scan to confirm that TCP port 80 is indeed open. Kali Linux. Minimize this. Let's wait for a few seconds. Okay, it's confirmed. Port 80 is indeed open, and the web server is using Apache with a Ubuntu version. Okay, afterwards, we need to run Metasploit. So how do we do that one? Let's type msf console. Let's patiently wait. And then we try to search for HTTP related vulnerabilities. Copy the command, paste it here. It's an auxiliary item, so most likely this will help us in probing and doing further surveillance on the target. So in order for us to use this auxiliary item, let's try to type use 0 command corresponding to this number. Now we do some show options. This is equivalent to the show command in the Cisco CLI, somehow related. And then we set the R hosts to the corresponding IP of the target machine. So this is 10.0.2.4. And then we do show options verification command again. Okay, it's properly encoded. And then we type the command run. So what do we have here? Okay, it shows the web server details. And aside from that one, we found a new interesting item, which is PHP /5.2.4-2 Ubuntu 5.10 version. So this could help us in doing further surveillance on the target machine. We need to go back to the browser and then check the php info.php page. So how do we do that one? Let's copy this. Type the IP address of the target machine and then add /php info.php. hit on enter. And then let's take a look on the important items provided. And according to the InfoSec path YouTube page, we need to focus our attention on this configuration file path details. This one. This is important. This will help us in compromising the machine later on. Okay, we go back to the terminal. And then let's open a new MSF console session or Metasploit session. This time we will use or search the dir_scanner keyword. If we remember, yeah, this is a module which scans one or more web servers for interesting directories that can be further explored. So this is the time that we need to use this option. So it's still an auxiliary item. That means that this item can help us to elaborate, or this item will help us to find more clues about how can we compromise the target machine later on. So we'll try to type use 0, and then set the R hosts again. 10.0.2.4. Do a verification command. Then we run this auxiliary item. Let's wait for a few seconds. Okay, we see some interesting information over here. CGI bin, and then PHP my admin. Now we need to step back and do another MSF console session. So if we remember, on the Mozilla Firefox page, okay, let's try to open that one. The PHP info. This one. So we need to find the PHP related exploit. So we go back to the terminal. Search PHP_CGI. Okay, so this is the keyword. I think this is the final step, because if you notice a few minutes a while ago, the keywords involved were auxiliary, so they're just giving us some tips on how to go to the final step. So I guess this is the final step already. So we'll type use 0. And then we set the R hosts to the destination IP 10.0.2.4. And then now, instead of typing run, we need to type exploit. Okay, so what does this mean? Now we have access to the target machine. How do we confirm that one? We can try to type some commands such as syninfo. Okay, yeah, there we go. We're already in. Then we can do some more verification commands. ID and then ls. Okay, so the process is pretty straightforward, but going back to the PowerPoint, it is a step-by-step process. We need to undergo or discover two items related to the auxiliary field, and then after going to those two items, we were able to use the specific exploit, which is the PHP CGI exploit. And then once we executed that one, we were able to have access to the target machine. Okay, before I end this video, I would like to thank InfoSecPat YouTube channel because the content that I used came from this channel, and then FortiGuard.com for providing us information about this exploit, and for the CVE related information, I got it from pentesterlab.com. Okay, that's all for now, and thank you for hearing this video, and good night. See you all soon.